Let me guess, you clicked on this video because you have an interview coming up and you haven't had the opportunity to prepare as much as you'd like to. And you might also be like me, handsome, intelligent, massively disorganized and easily worried. The other words just kind of slipped out. If you are in this position, then don't worry, because I've got lots of helpful information that you can refer to help you smash your interview, even if you're preparing for it last minute. Let's get straight into it. The most important thing you can do to prepare is research. A lot of people throw around this term, but what do they mean specifically? If you have an interview coming up, I strongly recommend that you focus on 3 areas of research. Research the company, their mission statement and their values. Also research the industry, including their competitors. And finally, research the product or service that they are offering. Researching these areas is going to allow you to become more confident in the interview because conversation is going to be a lot more natural. It could well be, as I said, that they ask what you know about the company, but they may also talk about what they offer as a business. If you're prepared and you're understanding of what their competitors are offering, you can naturally contribute to this conversation. The next tip, and this one's kind of a given, is to dress professionally. Make sure you have your clothing readily available the night before, so the next day you're not flustered and stressing about what to wear. Dressing smartly for an interview will always give a good impression, first of all, as soon as the interviewer meets you. Shows you're professional and it shows that you care about the job. The next tip is to carefully review the job description. And if you haven't received the job description when applying for this vacancy, there could well be responsibilities for the role included on the advert that you can refer to. It's always good to get a really good understanding of what the company are expecting within you if you were to be successful. So having a knowledge of this and also preparing examples that you can relate to each of the duties is always going to help within your interview. Reviewing the job description carefully is going to be really helpful in managing expectations of what they are looking for. It gives you time to prepare in your head an example relevant to each point on the job description. They could also have a person specification, a separate document to the job description, or they may be combined in a single document. If you're preparing, I'd advise that you go through the person specification and, just like we said with the job description, match personal examples to the different points on there, because it's bound to be discussed in the interview as these are the requirements they're looking for. This leads nicely on to the next part, and that is to prepare answers for basic questions that are likely to come up in the interview. It goes without saying, but of course, as these questions are very likely to come up, it makes sense to be prepared and have an answer ready that's tailored to your own experiences. Whilst it's easy for me to say to have loads of answers prepared for questions, what specific ones are going to come up? It's very likely that they are going to ask, A, what do you know about the company, as we said earlier? B, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? C, why do you want this job and where does it align with your career plans? D, can you give us an example of a difficult situation and how you diffuse this? And E, can you give us examples of how you've effectively worked as a team within your company? These are, of course, just a handful, but they're very likely to come up. I do have some videos explaining how to perfectly answer tricky interview questions. The playlist is linked below, so check that out if you do have some time. But these ones are very likely to come up in your interview. The reason being is because these are more interpersonal, more soft skill based that they can ask every candidate. They're less technical, so they're more likely to be broader and will give a good account of your experience. That's why they're asked. This next tip, it's not too much of a biggie, but if you want to do it, by all means you can. I'd advise that you connect with whoever you're meeting, if you know their details, on platforms such as LinkedIn. If you are comfortable doing this, I'd recommend that you connect with whoever you're meeting on the interview panel and drop them a message saying that you're excited and looking forward to attend the interview, and if they would like anything in advance, then to please let them know. I'd keep it at that. You probably don't want to overdo it if you do decide to connect with these people on LinkedIn. It shows a level of professionalism, and it also shows that you're excited to attend the interview amongst your other applications. Okay, now it's time for some practical tips. I'd always advise that you arrive 10 to 15 minutes early for your interview, especially if you're commuting quite a distance to get there. There's nothing worse than arriving a few minutes before the interview, feeling flustered, feeling stressed, because the interviewers can see right through it, and you're probably not going to give the best account of yourself. Arriving early will allow you to mentally prepare and get yourself in the zone before the interview. Also allows you the opportunity to say hello and speak with people on reception, showing that you're professional, courteous and polite. Building a good rapport with every member of staff you can is always going to make you look more favourable to the interviewers. The next point, and this one's kind of a given, but it's to turn off your phone, or at the very least put it on silent, because there's nothing worse than your phone going off in the middle of the interview. It's very awkward. The next point revolves around bringing in pre-prepared interview notes. Whilst it's perfectly acceptable in most cases to bring in interview notes, I'd always advise that you ask permission of whoever's interviewing you. It shows a level of respect, and it also shows a level of professionalism. Right, so today that's all we've got time for, but I really hope this has helped. If you are interviewing, please let me know in the comment section below how it's going. If you do have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I always make sure that I reply to every comment I receive. It's a really good way of me engaging with you guys and finding out what pain points you're finding with your job search and how I can potentially help. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It only takes a few seconds for you guys, but it means a hell of a lot to me, so I'd really appreciate it if you did that for me. But other than that, I wish you a lovely day and good luck.